Martino Ciambrelli of the Naturo group worked his way up at a major food company for over 30 years. He realized that the owners made all the money, yet he remained a salaried employee. So he thought about becoming an entrepreneur. A friend of his then introduced him to a product, natural, pure Rocky Mountain water, enhanced with plant-based ingredients. The product's called Trace, that he now has invested in and dedicated himself to. He's going to tell us about that transition and what about Trace convinced him to take the risk to become an entrepreneur. Hey Martino, welcome to Biz One-on-One.
Thanks for having me, Randy. Do I call you Limone or Lemon?
Hey, I'm related to John Lennon. We'll stick with Lennon.
We'll stay with that, okay.
So I have had the pleasure of learning about this product because I also know your partner, Marcello Leone. This is fantastic. It's actually a whole new category in the whole business, in the whole, like Health Canada's created a new category for this.
It's been fun. It's been a 4-year challenge so far from its first starts when Marcello introduced me to the brand. Him and his wife were the ones who really fell in love with the brand, fell in love with what the plants did for you and how it really revitalized their life. Especially Gabby, she started first. When Gabby introduced it to him, he finally stopped having colds. And he noticed that his runner's knee wasn't as severe as it was. So he fell in love with the brand himself because of the natural benefits of the product.
But it's black water. I mean, this is water, right?
This is water infused with plants.
So infused with plants, and when I say that Health Canada's created a new category, you actually can make health claims about the benefit of this water?
You can actually say that it's legitimate to sell in the marketplace and that it's certified that it is what it is. So it comes from plant-based. It's got fulvic and humic ingredients in it that come from these plants.
Fulvic and humic.
They're really cool words. They're acids, basically, that come from the plants. It's infused in our plant 25 kilometers northeast of Osoyoos. And right there on top of the aquifer, we have a plant there that infuses the plants into the water and creates this product called Trace.
And Trace is going to be available in stores right across the country. You're rolling it out. You're already working with the Vancouver Canucks, I know. So, but what's the key here? Is it like the water's black, it's got a bunch of minerals in it, but it's also higher alkaline. What does that mean?
Absolutely. You know, what's cool about the product is that it's black. That's the cool factor. Then what's really great about the product is that it has a high pH level. And the pH level is around 9. Naturally, we don't use any chemicals or anything to do it. It's just all done naturally through the infusion. That high pH level forces your body to metabolize itself because your body wants to be about 7.2. So it automatically goes to work on your body and makes your body become naturally alkaline. And that's the first big benefit of this. All water is hydrating, but we're natural. We don't do any funny things with our electrolytes. Those are all natural. There's no infusion of chemicals to make that happen. So everything that we do is pure, natural, no carbs, no sugars, no chemicals. It's a great, natural, innovative product, and we really believe that we're on something that is going to be good for your wellness.
The transition for you, Martino, long-time corporate guy.
Yeah.
And now you're putting your own money in and stepping away from the secure corporate position to make this happen.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. You know, the Leone family really, gave me an opportunity here to be involved with them. And I've known them for many years, and to be involved in business is always a challenge with friends. But Marcello makes it easy. His family makes it easy because they just make you responsible and let you do what you have to do. The difference this time is that I'm not just going for a small bonus check. You know, the companies that you work for, like Pepsi, which is Frito-Lay where I worked, or Planters Peanuts, which was John Vance Foods, they give you good bonuses, but not life-changing bonuses. And what you hope to do is create something that's good for everybody, and at the end of the day, maybe changes your life a little bit.
So what's different? You were a hard-working guy working for Pepsi. What's different when it's your own company?
I think I go to bed at night happier. I mean, when you work for a corporation, there's always, am I doing good enough? Do they respect what I'm doing? Does everybody really care what I'm doing? Who hates me? Who likes me? There's all that stuff. Here, it's not like that. It's like a family.
Why, of all things, the water business?
Well, when Marcello told me, I started looking at the business first before I said yes. And what I noticed was that there was water in the business. There was vitamin water. There was coconut water. There was energy drinks. But there was really nothing defining the premium waters, the quality waters of the world, and defining those. They were all over the place. Every store had them somewhere where they shouldn't have been. So I thought to them, why don't we create a structured water category where people are adding structure to the water? That would give places like Hint and Karma and Fiji and Smart Water a place to house themselves in a section. And when I presented that idea to the trade, they loved it. And of course, us being black and being disruptive, where did we get to go? Right in the middle of the section. And it was an awesome deal for everybody. And in Vancouver, we have 160 stores carrying our product, all doing very well, and we've created these structured water sections. So we're excited about expanding that right across the country.
What's the potential future? This is a little company out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. What's the big potential picture? Can you guys enter into the U.S. market?
Yeah, we're going to launch in 2018, the first quarter in the U.S. I mean, our products, we have 2 supplement products that are already available in the United States. And next is to bring our drink there. Because the drink is where the commodity is, and that's where the big volumes are. The beverage business is the most interesting business you have to be involved in. When you get to $10 million, they have this double factor, they call it. You hit 10, all of a sudden you hit 20, and all of a sudden you hit 40. And it just happens naturally. And it's a really cool category for that.
So this little company out of Vancouver is creating a new category in the water business, black water. It's my understanding that even though you're not a public company, there's a way for people to, the average person to try the water, whatever, but also invest in the company. Touch on that for a minute.
Yeah, it's important, I think. We're also, we're growing. We don't have all the money in the world, but we have been approached by Front Funder, which is a group that does that for us. And they're going to be launching that shortly. And we're excited about it because it's going to allow an average person to invest in a company like this. And you always hear on the radio, water's the future, water's the future. Well, how do you get involved with that as a smaller person and not being able to put $1 billion into a company? Here you'll be able to. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the type of investors we get on that.
So where does the future lie as far as rolling out additional product lines, or is it you're basically just sticking with the black water?
No, we're gonna start with this, and we're gonna add some line extensions to it, like lemon and cucumber mint. But also, what's important is we're gonna be expanding the product globally. So we expect to be in China before the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah, that's exciting. We've worked on that for 2 years to get Health China approval and stuff like that.
So just to before we wrap up, the water's black. That's not a gimmick. That's how it turns out when you infuse it with these plant-based minerals. That's what happens?
Absolutely. That's the funniest part about it all. People always think we do something to it. It's the fulvic and the humic ingredients from the plants that we get in the mountains of British Columbia here, the Rocky Mountains. When we go underground and get them, the humic makes it black, and that's just natural.
Well, I've been trying it. I like it. And as you can tell, look how healthy I am. My hair is starting to grow back. Oh, no, I'm just joking.
Can't claim that.
Okay, Martino, thanks for coming on Biz 101.
Thank you
that
very
was
much.
a blast.
All right, thank you. Cheers.
Meet Andre. He's the founder of a new craft brewery. Andre has had early success with his company, but now he needs investors to help him grow his business and take it to the next level. This is where Front Funder comes in. You see, at Front Funder, we approach investing differently. We connect Andre to people like you and Mike, a craft beer enthusiast. By investing in Andre's company, Mike can continue to enjoy his craft beer while owning a piece of his favorite brewery. Then there's Kathy. She's a professional investor looking to diversify her portfolio. She also sees the potential for financial return in Andre's company. So Kathy invests through Front Funder. Front Funder enables you to support businesses you believe in. We screen all of our companies and perform an in-depth review, helping you make an informed investment decision. We make online investing simple and accessible to everyone. Select your favorite company, pay for your shares, and become an owner. It's that simple. An online investment experience from start to finish.
You think you know The Brick? Sure, everyone knows The Brick is the place for the guaranteed lowest prices on home furnishings. But do you know how we do it? Buying power, that's how. The Brick has over 200 locations across Canada, with over 7 million square feet of showrooms. That means we buy a lot of stuff from all over the world. And the more we buy, the more you save. The Brick. Saving you more. That's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Every time I come in, Chris always follows up with me, always asks me how my service was, if there's anything that they could have done better. He makes me feel really important.
You're not going to get treated better. The work done was awesome, but I thought that the personal touch and the service, Chris was always top-notch.
We've met new employees, and if I go back the next time, they know who we are. Whenever I take our cars in, I feel like I'm someone special. They treat me extremely well.
Using frequencies to program water or make electrical systems more efficient. It all sounds impossible, like science fiction, right? Our next guest, Ian Percy of Verdant Technologies, is here to talk about how that is actually science fact and how we too can reach for possibilities. Of course, Ian is a possibilities coach to corporations and executive teams around the world. And he's going to give us tips on how to move from a problem-solving mindset to a possibility-thinking mindset and reveal some of how the new possibilities he's working on are going to impact the world. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Randy.
It's great to have you here. Actually, when I say it's great to have you here, I mean it in a very, very special way because one of my biggest, I'm Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer.
Yep.
I am one of his biggest fans, and the
Super
first
guy,
book
wasn't
that came to me when on the start of my own spiritual journey was Your Sacred Self, and I'm looking off of your book from, this book was written 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of the front page, it says, sensational, applied spirituality in the workplace and beyond. A great contribution, Dr. Wayne W. Dyer.
He was quite a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I really am super excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And I want to talk about what you do, which is out of your book. It's not what you do, it's where you're going and what you accomplish by
Yes,
what
indeed.
you do. And your whole career has been, you got an amazing story. But first, what are you working on right now? This sounds bizarre.
Oh, that science fiction stuff you
Yeah.
mentioned? Yeah, I've spent most of my career consulting and speaking in the corporate world, all over the world pretty well. But I got restless and began to look at what's going on out there that nobody sees or nobody's talking about. I don't have much patience for incremental change or just improving something. I want to do something that's way out on that edge that makes people say, come on, that's not even possible. And I came across a gentleman up here in Canada who had found a way over decades of research on how to combine specific frequencies and install those into solids, liquids, and gases. And when he did that, it changed the molecular structure of that target material, enabling it to do things it couldn't normally do.
Installing frequencies. Are we talking about quantum physics type
We are
stuff?
talking about quantum physics, as a matter of fact. And I heard his story, and I thought, why doesn't he own half the world by now? But he's one of those brilliant, he's going to be in his little bungalow up north of Toronto, and he's going to die, and his kids are going to come along and say, what do we do with all the junk in the garage? And nobody will ever hear about this.
Wow.
And so I put a company, the Verdant Technologies, around him and said, how do we commercialize and scale this? Because it has such impact. So for example, Randy, we have a way of using specific frequencies to treat water used in crop irrigation. So all we're doing is changing the resonance of that water. And what it really does is it changes the molecular structure. It makes the molecule clusters much tighter and stronger, and that enables that water to be absorbed into the plant much faster and deeper. So you can literally increase your crop yield between 30 and 40%, cut your water back by a third, almost eliminate the need for chemicals. And there's just something magical about understanding how the energy of our world works, especially the energy of water. Water is the common factor in all of biology.
What's the name of the company again?
Verdant Technologies. Verdant as in lush and green.
Verdant Technologies. That's your company.
Yeah.
Someone watching this program right now, many of them might be going, oh, there's a whack job guy.
Exactly. I've heard that one
talking
before.
through his hat.
Yeah.
Other people might be watching going, this guy's onto something. You're raising money right now. You're looking for investors.
Yep.
So people can get in touch with you and talk about that.
Very, very much. And if we could find an investor who also gets it,
Right.
it makes all the difference in the world.
Yes.
And there are people like that. Not everybody that just thinks this is some craziness. The fact is, it's been studied for a long time.
Well, you've got the biz one-on-one vibration happening here, and we'll see what
There you
happens.
go.
Just before I let you go, I've got to have you tell me one of your craziest, best stories from being on the road, speaking to companies and doing crazy things all through your. You've been around for a while.
Well, the one that comes quickest to mind was with quite a large insurance company, and I was trying to teach them about possibility thinking, working mostly with the sales gang. They kept keeping their thoughts minimal. You know, like, well, we'll try for a 3% increase. I said, oh, come on. The universe can do much better than that. You see, and this is the thing we don't understand.
Yep.
The universe has no more trouble giving you this than giving you this.
Exactly.
All right? So, you know, after a while, somebody mockingly said at one of our sessions, well, why don't we put down $1 billion then? And everybody laughed. They came back the next day, and the guy said, you know, I was thinking about that overnight. If we were to do this, this, and this, there's no reason why we couldn't do $1 billion. So we got the whole sales team understanding how our mindset, our beliefs changed the real production of our work. And so they were hitting, you know, sales coming from the heavens to them. And what I had not realized, because I had failed to get IT and underwriting and all those other parts of the system believing in the same way. They weren't buying that at all. So we had this fire hose coming in here, going into a little garden hose.
Wow.
And it really killed it.
Wow.
It really did. So the secret to an organization is, how do we get everybody lining the energy toward our highest possibilities? You do that, you are unassailable.
One of the things that Wayne Dyer taught me, and many other people of his ilk, which I put you in that category, obviously, and also Eckhart Tolle, and you were one of the first ones to get a
I met him and endorsed his book before it was even published in Vancouver. And I think, man, I didn't even know who he was, you know.
Wow.
What a shame.
One of the things that I've learned in my own, 25-year quote-unquote spiritual journey is that the only thing that stops me in achieving whatever I could want to achieve is my own limitations on myself.
It's the way you think.
Yeah.
No, you're exactly right. We don't realize, this is the point I'd really like to make if we have the time. We don't realize that everything that will ever be possible is already possible. We don't make up this stuff. We hear it and see it and find it. It's floating through this room, right? And what we need to learn how to do is kind of get out of this mindset of just looking for problems and say, wait a minute, what the universe is trying to tell me something, it's trying to give me something. And when we begin to see what that possibility is and then begin to align the energy needed to make that into a reality, that's where the magic happens.
Magic. That's what I would call this interview.
It
Thank
is.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really
Ian
good to talk to
Percy,
you.
really great.
Thank you, Randy, very much.
You think you know the Brick? Sure, everyone knows the Brick is the place for the guaranteed lowest prices on home furnishings. But do you know how we do it? Buying power, that's how. The Brick has over 200 locations across Canada, with over 7 million square feet of showrooms. That means we buy a lot of stuff from all over the world. And the more we buy, the more you save. The Brick. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Wonder lives in you. It's the moments that capture you and make you feel alive, leaving you breathless, wanting more. Feed your imagination, because some things are worth dreaming about, and some things are worth living. Rediscover your one.
Meet Andre. He's the founder of a new craft brewery. Andre has had early success with his company, but now he needs investors to help him grow his business and take it to the next level. This is where Front Funder comes in. You see, at Front Funder, we approach investing differently. We connect Andre to people like you and Mike, a craft beer enthusiast. By investing in Andre's company, Mike can continue to enjoy his craft beer while owning a piece of his favorite brewery. Then there's Kathy. She's a professional investor looking to diversify her portfolio. She also sees the potential for financial return in Andre's company. So Kathy invests through Front Funder. Front Funder enables you to support businesses you believe in. We screen all of our companies and perform an in-depth review, helping you make an informed investment decision. We make online investing simple and accessible to everyone. Select your favorite company, pay for your shares, and become an owner. It's that simple. An online investment experience from start to finish.
Richard Taylor is an events guy. He's been executing world-class live events for over 20 years. He's here today to talk about his new venture, Visland Live. Welcome to Biz 101, Richard.
Good to see you, Randy.
And you're on Biz One-on-One because we are going to be doing a big Biz One-on-One event. It's a little ways down the road, but what can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. Well, what we've been looking at is the the whole ethos of Biz One-on-One and how we can take this TV production in front of a live audience, and take the business leaders that you're talking with here, bring them to the stage, have some one-on-one conversations, have some group chats, and build a business and entrepreneurship conference around these people and some other business leaders that we're going to bring in specifically for the conference.
Yeah, which, the viewer may not know that the Biz One-on-One is not just a TV show, it's a whole community of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs that we are building around North America. So I guess the date is going to be sometime in November 2018.
That's correct. Yeah. We're looking at about a 16-month timeline from today to get everything planned and organized and really make sure that that we have a world-class event that we're going to take to the business community.
So probably November, we're going to go to Scottsdale, Arizona, where we're also going to be shooting Biz One-on-One segments. Great time of year to get into the warmth of Arizona.
Absolutely. I've snowbirded myself a little bit down there, and I've loved my time in Arizona. So looking forward to getting back down to Scottsdale next year, and spending some time down there doing some planning as well.
So I detect a note of a little bit of a British accent there. And tell me your story. You've executed some amazing events over the years. How'd you get into the event business?
I'm from England originally, born in rural Lincolnshire, and then lived in the capital, London, for most of my life. And my career's really had 4 stages to it, 2 of which have been in event production. So I first oddly trained as a graphic designer in a graphic design studio in rural Lincolnshire. Moved to London and studied economics at London University. And while I was there, started my
graphic design to economics, a natural tie-in.
Well, I think we talk about left side and right side of the brain, and I'm somebody that that switches gears from one side to the other, pretty easily. And so I love working on creative projects, but I know that any creative project also has to make business sense. There's always going to be a need for a creative marketing project to, at the end of the day, affect the bottom line of a company. So graphic design, first of all, worked on some great projects with the first graphic design studio I worked with, including the rebrand and corporate identity of the Royal Mail in the UK, the equivalent of Canada Post.
Cool.
Back in the late 80s and early 90s. And then, like I say, moved to London, took economics at London University, and started to get a good sense for business there, and was working with the University Students' Union on the events committee there. And here's an interesting fact that you don't know as yet. The guy that I worked with there, who I reported to, in his very first job that you'll see on his online CV, none other than Ricky Gervais. So
really? That's who you remind me of, Ricky Gervais. So you worked with him or not?
I worked with him. So his, before he, does what he does now, and before that he worked for the BBC writing the very first version of The Office, the British version of The Office. Before that, he was entertainment manager at the University of London. And I worked there as part of the events committee, and so we were working on events at the University of London Students' Union, and so I kind of got a feel for that, that being something that I was very passionate about. Loved seeing people coming together, having a good time, and so with a business partner started an event company there, oddly enough called Tall and Handsome Productions.
I won't ask which you were.
Well, I'm 6'3", so so my former business partner gladly took the handsome moniker, and we worked on developing nightclub events. basically hiring nightclub venues, booking DJs, and putting on great parties in London nightclubs in the early and mid 1990s.
So Richard, that got you a taste of the event world, and we fast forward all the way to, I think, a year or two ago. There you are, your company putting on one of the largest, most, I guess, influential events in the whole tech space, with none other than Steve Wozniak as your keynote speaker, and you got to spend some time with him.
Steve Wozniak was the big draw at the conference. As I had the role of producing the conference, I assigned myself the difficult job of being his handler while he was on site in Banff. So
that's the fun of being in charge, isn't
exactly.
it? You get to take the best job. So what's Steve Wozniak like to hang out with?
He is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the world. Very, very humble, very down to earth. He talks, two things that he's particularly passionate about is looking at technology from a engineer's first perspective. He's not dismissive of the role of other people in technology. The marketers, the venture capitalists, and so on. He recognizes their place, but he's very much about ensuring that the true brain power behind technology, I guess, gets the recognition that it deserves.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because that's a big part of what the Biz One-on-One community is all about, and that is putting entrepreneurs in the spotlight, just like we do on this show. Just to wrap it up, you're going to be working on pulling this whole conference together over the next number of months and over the next year. What can people do if they want to help out, get involved? How can they find out more about it?
So there's a couple of places online where you can go to find out more information. Biz1on1.tv and also at Visland.live. So Visland.live is where we'll have information on the other events that we're producing.
Richard Taylor of the new company Visland Live and Visland Live Events. So great to have you, Richard. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.